Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel INFY. So in this video we are going to discuss something about final versus const. We are going to see the key difference between final and the const. So here we are going to take the help of the Dart language. So the final and const are two keywords in most of the languages, and here in Dart also final and const are two different keywords. So basically, we will go through a small example to understand what exactly and what is the key difference between final and the constant variable. So first, let us go with the definition which we have over the internet, and then look at the example. So as you can see here, for the final definition, for the final variable, so final means a single assignment. A final variable of field must have an initializer. Once assigned a value, a final's variable value cannot be changed. Final modifies the variable. So, and what they are saying is like final, a value cannot be changed, but its value can be modified. So it should have an initializer as well. So we will go through it slowly. Now look at the constant variable. So like constant, like this is an object, like we are creating an object over here. Here constant means that the object's entire deep state can be determined entirely at compile time, and that object will be frozen and completely immutable. So what they are basically trying to say is that constant variable must be determined at the compile time only, but not at the runtime. So let's say you are having a map or a JSON object in JavaScript. So for the constant variable, the all the other objects in that particular map, or all the fields in that particular map, are always constant and cannot be changed for a constant type of variable. Whereas in final type of variable, if you are having a map assigned to a final variable, you cannot change its value, but you can modify its value. That means you can, in case of final, you can change the fields in it, but in case of const, you cannot change the fields of a map. So what they are saying is final variable can have the value assigned in runtime, unlike the constant variable. So final variable can have the assignment in the runtime, but for constant variable, its value should be determined at compile time only. um, so I've gone through the Stack Overflow. I found a very good explanation over here. So as you can see, what they're saying is like, so constant, if the value you have is computed at runtime, then you cannot use const for it. So if there is something that is determined at the runtime, so here the datetime dot now is determined at the runtime, but and you cannot use const over it. So if there is something determined at the runtime, then you have to use final. If there is something that is determined at the compile time, then you have to use constant. So that is a pretty much basic definition about final and const. And the one good example for final is that if you are making an HTTP call and you are getting the response, and you know that that response will not change, then you should prefer using the final over constant variable. So I will show you in detail. So now let's say we are having two different variables. So one is the India, and the other variable is Japan. So India is of type constant variable, and Japan is of type final variable. So we are having a simple map. So the key is capital and the value is the capital. So as you can see, the capital of India is Delhi, which is correct, and the type is constant variable. As you can see, the capital of Japan is Tokyo, but here it is Beijing. Now I wanted to change this capital from Beijing to Tokyo. Okay, so if I change, as you can see, the capital for India is Delhi, which is correct, and I don't want it to be changed. Now if I try to change the capital of India, See, I'm trying to alter, like, India's capital is Mumbai. I'm trying to change from Delhi to Mumbai. Now let me run this. See, as you can see, we are getting the error. So because cannot modify unmodifiable map. Why? Because India is a constant type variable and the value cannot be changed obviously, but the fields in it cannot be altered, and this value cannot be modified because this is a constant variable. Now if I replace this with final variable, I can change the capital of Delhi to Mumbai. See, as you can see, it got executed and now the capital of India is Mumbai. This is because of the final variable. So with final variables you can modify its value, but in constant variables you cannot modify its value. But for both final and constant you cannot change its value at any time. Okay, so this is what I would like to show. So yeah, since the Japan is a final variable, I can modify its value, but I cannot change its value. So here I'm just modifying its value. So I'm going to say, so the capital should be Tokyo for Japan with this execution. As you can see, the capital for India is Delhi and the capital for Japan is Tokyo, which is changed from Beijing to Tokyo over here. So basically this is it. The key difference between the final and constant. So this is the basic key difference between a final and const. So this is, I hope I made sense regarding final versus const. So that's all. Thank you for watching this video.